Hello. I
Hello.
haven't seen the notice pop, but this is not Robin, Toadstool Tarot with me.
Am I on the wrong live?
You are not in the wrong live. You are in the proper live. Thank you very much for being here.
Oh, you're welcome.
Um, I'm just checking to see if the notice popped, so that's why I'm like going like this.
Yes, it's
There
just.
we go. There's the notice. It's just popped. So, hi Ben. Thanks for
Hi,
joining.
Gerald. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And this is Ben from Beneficial Tarot, and we are going to be doing the Open Face Tarot, sort of deck casual conversation and some mini readings. So Robin is backstage. He's doing a few things. So that's all good. And Robin would be Toadstool Tarot. So, but yeah. So happy Saturday.
Yes, weekend, best day of the week, best time of the week, isn't it?
Yes, yes. I think they're pretty good. So, so how about we take a couple of minutes and um so you have this deck. Do share.
So, I got a little message today from Gerald saying, "Oh, would you like to join us on this this deck casual, just conversation about this deck?" And he said, "I said, oh, well, what deck is it?" And he says, "The Open Face Tarot." And I was like, oh, I don't think I've got that one. Anyway, 30 minutes before Gerald messaged me, I'd had a delivery. And it was this deck, which is called the Open Face Tarot. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
did Gerald just send me this? And then he's magic, guys. This guy's magic. And I was like, how
Well,
weird that he's asked me to do this. And it's literally arrived in the post today, 30 minutes before he messaged me. So I was like, yeah, of course, I'd love to do this because, as everybody knows, this wonderful deck is Robin created. And I was just such a shock when Gerald said, and then I said, Gerald, did you get me this? And he was like, no.
what are you
So
talking about?
it's a mystery, but I think it was from the lovely Robin himself. So I'm going to ask him when he
Yes.
comes in.
Okay, so speaking of the wonderful Robin, I'm gonna put him
Oh,
right in the center. Hello, Robin.
Hi.
So were you able to hear Ben and his little
Yeah,
story?
this is so crazy because I didn't tell Ben I was going to do that, and I didn't know
no.
how long it would take to get there. And I was just in the restroom when I heard you guys saying this, and I was thinking, oh, I hope Ben can stay to do this with us. Oh, shoot, he doesn't have the deck yet. And then I hear it
It
arrive.
arrived today, Robin. Can you believe that? And thank
Yeah.
you so much. This is such a lovely gift, and I
Aw.
shall treasure this because it's from you.
Well,
So thank you so
I
much.
apologize for sending you something you neither expressed any interest in or wanted, because
I love it,
I
Robin, and
don't want someone to do that to me. But I thought I would
especially
really love to. We had talked about getting together for some private Zooms, and
yes,
I thought, oh, I would love if he would help me, you know, indulge me to walk through it and, work on things.
yeah. Oh
So,
well, Robin, I love it, and it's made even more special that it was made by you and gifted by you. So thank you so much because I shall treasure this. It's fab.
Well, and so well, I'll say to hi to people in chat in a minute, but Robin was doing, you were doing a live readings last night on Friday evening. All of the links to Robin's channel, where to buy the deck, and Robin's flip throughs of this deck. He has 3 different videos about it. So we're not going to do too much about that. So they're down below. But Robin was, he was doing readings. You were on for a couple of hours and chatting with people, and so he had mentioned that he was going to do a majors only reading, which I've never done. And I was like going, and I have Robin's deck, and I'm looking, Robin, I would totally be up to doing readings using your deck. And you messaged me last night, so it's like we got it set today. So
Perfect.
yes,
I messed it
perfect.
up by going back to bed and sleeping through the.
Oh, stop it! People don't know. People don't know.
They
So
do now. But I don't mind playing the fool.
so
I,
well, let's say hi to some people. Let's do that. Um, Ange is here. Hello, Ange.
Hiya, Ange.
Pamela is here. Pamela, good to see you. Jane the Seeker is here. Hello, Jane. And you should have gotten your delivery, by the way. Okay, oops, my chat just jumped. I love it. Tara Living with Manasa is here.
Hi,
You should catch the
Manasa.
replay. So, daughter's birthday is today. Lily's birthday, I believe. So, happy birthday, Lily. And Jake Ty is here. Or Jake Tay. Hello, Jake. Beth, Aspasia Rising.
You
Good to
bet.
see you. Um, I know this is going to be a wonderful deck. It is a wonderful deck. I'm looking forward to do it, to using it. So Jane is excited to hear more. And just to be clear, everybody, purchase responsibly, know your limits. The links are below. If you would like to be interested, if you'd like to add this to your collection, but that's not why we're doing this. And you will we're going to do some readings a little bit later. So Kaz is here. Hi, Kaz.
Hi, Kaz.
Um, so okay, got everybody caught up and made a couple people moderators. So everybody, let's take a sip. Then one of these days I'm gonna tell you you're not allowed on my channel unless you're wearing glasses, because I have glasses, Robin has glasses, and you don't. So
I need to get those white ones.
Robin, you created this nifty little deck back in 2020.
mm-hmm.
And I remember hearing about the process, and you did it really quickly, if I remember correctly.
That's right.
So,
first of all, I want to say to everybody out there, I'm not doing this for mercenary reasons. I'm happy that Gerald put the link down there. If you do feel like you want to buy, and I'm not pushing it, this version is the cheapest deck you'll find on MPC. I think it's under $8.
Yeah.
And I do have a larger version, and I have a couple versions that have titles. This one doesn't have titles.
Yes.
And
do you have the one with titles, Ben?
No.
No.
Okay, I don't have the one with titles either.
No, this one's my favorite one. I think the first one I did had titles and was regular tarot size. And then after having it, I thought, I like the cute little ones. I'm going to give that a run. So I tried, and I like this one the best without the titles, the small sized one.
Excellent.
Something about the feel of these that I just really love. And
yes.
I like that they kind of look like ivory or like a little bar of hotel soap or something. There's just something.
I love that.
Mine came in a little plastic box as well, Robin, which is cool.
Well, yeah, they come shrink wrapped, but I found but you could buy the little boxes a la carte, and it was such a perfect fit. I thought, that should have one.
It really is. It's a perfect fit, and so there is no tuck box rage.
No tuck box rage.
Orshi is here. Hello. Is in lurking mode, so that's cool. And so now, go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to say a couple of things. I had been thinking about doing a deck for a while and procrastinating. And then somehow, all of a sudden, one Sunday morning, I just got the impulse to drag out some cards some oversized index cards and a colored pencil and scribbled these out in 4 hours.
Wow.
The reason I had procrastinated before was I thought 78 cards is overwhelming. That could take me years. And if I keep being put off by the enormity of the task, I'll never start it. But I kind of wanted to do this to prove to people that you don't have, well, whether you consider these artistic or not, you don't have to be artistically talented to create your own deck. And I wanted to encourage people at how easy it was to do. And
that's beautiful.
I also love that MPC is pay as you go, and people were doing Kickstarters. I didn't want to go through a whole rigmarole of spending a year and a half in cards and creating this lengthy Kickstarter. And so I just did the whole thing really quickly. And it's 22 cards. It's sort of less than perfect. There are a couple of cards that I had second thoughts about after I did it, but I stopped myself from because I thought, well, it took me this long to do it. If I stop it now to perfect it, I'll never finish it. Yeah. And I almost felt like I channeled this deck to do the whole thing in 4 hours. It just felt like, warts and all, leave it alone. You know, you did this, put it out there. And I did it by using, on my computer screen, I Googled each of the major cards one at a time and did an image search so that they would all come up on the screen. So I had a reference point for them. And then I also used as a reference point, I don't know if you guys have this deck, the Everyday Tarot, which has sort of simplified images that inspired a couple of these cards.
Yeah.
That was an easy way to do it. I had it as a model right in front of me, 24, 28 different pools, and I could look and see elements from each of them, like what's the most essential element there. I trim it all down, the image. What's the crux of what this is giving me? And so that's how I created these cards.
I love that. And Jane the Seeker Tarot said these are perfect for tiny hands, and they really are. I mean, come on. So Ange is driving, so hi Ange. Safe driving. And Kaz said hashtag authentic Robin. So that's a nice compliment. I would take it. So
I also wanted to say another reason that I did the 22 cards was when I started, I thought, well, if I only have 22 to do it, I might actually be able to make it through.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I didn't initially think I'm going to do a majors only. It was the number 22, and I thought, okay, that's good. That could work. Yeah. But since I've done it, I've encountered all this thing about people don't like majors only, or they don't know how to work with them, or they don't know what to do with them, which I kind of don't get, because there are other systems of divination with less than 78. And I just kind of feel like people rail against it, like they want more. They want more. There's got to be more cards, especially now with the Alley Man is like, I don't know how many cards in that deck. So I want to bring some love to the majors only. And
that's a good point. And Ben, you actually started reading majors only.
I did, yeah.
Tell us about that.
So when I first got into tarot, my friend found some tarot cards at her grandmother's, and they were I think it was the JJ Swiss, which is a pig deck. So she took out all the minors and would only use the majors, because you can't really see much in the minors, can you, on a pig deck? And she started reading with that, and that's how we learned to read, is just by using. And I didn't really know what the minors were at that point in my learning, but I loved it because I think they work just as well doing majors. And I'm the same, Robin. I don't get why people don't like majors only decks, because I really actually quite like it sometimes just to read with the majors.
Well, I have not read. This will be my first time doing readings for people with a majors only deck. in my mind, a majors only deck is like using a sledgehammer to hang a picture.
Hmm.
So, because for me, in my understanding, the major arcana are the significant life events. These are the big things. So for me, I have to make a bit of an adjustment
Hmm.
that it's like, okay, pull back. It can be because you can find all of the meanings of the majors are reflected in the minors differently. So but yeah, yeah, so yeah, go ahead, Robin.
I would counter that with a twist. In fact, I was going to say not today, but at some point, I think it would be a fun exercise for the three of us and for people out there too, to lay out all their majors and then play solitaire with the rest of their deck. Like, which of the majors might you incorporate the meaning of this particular minor into? What can it be subsumed into? Because I've done it, and it can be
Uh-huh.
done. Sometimes it's more than one card. Like the three of us
Yes.
might not agree which card that minor could be subsumed into, but they
Oh, I
all.
like that.
Hmm. Yeah, and that's actually something that Jane the Seeker loves that. That
Ooh.
Mark Astro Tarot, Ben and I were talking about something similar to that. What's the energy of the majors? How is that reflected in the minors? But I like that. A lot of love for that idea, Robin. If you have not done a video on that,
Yeah.
you might want to, shoot a little video to help to have people understand what that means.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, but so for me, I've not actually done a majors only, but it makes sense. It's just a mind switch that I have to make. So,
We'll give it
um,
a test run for you today.
there you go. So I want to. Here is so people understand the size. Here's the universal rider weight or something like that. Here's the size of the card.
It's so cute.
And if you don't want it that small, if you really need the large
Okay.
size, it's this.
Uh-huh.
There's a
Okay.
larger one. It's not. It's a little more expensive, but it's regular tarot size.
Hmm. So, and Jane the Seeker got a little package and says, I'm squealing like a little piggy because she might have gotten a little piggy in her package. But your little piggy doesn't have a butthole on it. So I added a little. So anyhow, um, but so there's the size of it. So it's small. It's a mini deck, so there's no problem with that. What card stock is it, Robin?
It's just the S30. It's funny how I picked that because I got James Rickliff's RWS 2.0 originally from MPS, and I love MPC. I love the cardstock so much that I didn't even have to look when it came time to do mine. I want that one. So
Hmm.
actually, I think in a way, I like these smaller too, also because that cardstock somehow feels thicker on the smaller cards than it
It
does on the
yes.
big cards. I think it's maybe a kind of a physics thing or something. I don't know, but
Hmm.
they feel more substantial, the little ones, I think, when you only have
Yeah.
two.
Yeah. By the way, Fran is here. Hi, Fran Marley. Glad to have you here.
Hi, Fran.
Um, yeah, and so it's a small deck. It shuffles fine. No issue with that. So,
Great.
um,
I also wanted to say that I don't think anybody would have any trouble identifying these cards without the labels if you read tarot. I think
hmm.
they're all obvious which card they are without the labels. If
Uh-huh.
you need the labels, they come on something.
Robin, can I just, sorry guys, can I just ask a quick question? Because I noticed there's like an extra card. Is
Yeah.
that like, was that intended, Robin?
It was sort of a bonus card, and on the printed ones it has a question mark on it. But it was kind of like a weird thing that I don't know why I included. I think maybe when I filled out the form, I made a mistake with the blank card. I thought, what do I do with that extra
Mm.
card? well, let's make it a true open face mystery. We'll put a question mark on it. And I like
And
that his face kind of looks like a question mark.
Yes, I love
and
it.
do you have that in your deck when you do readings, Robin?
I do, but you don't have to. You can pull it out, and it'll be a true,
Yeah.
majors only. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I lost my train there.
And Fran said these cards are really different. Fran, they are different, and links below to Robin's channel where he talks about them are there. So, Ben, are you going to keep this extra card in there?
Yeah, I am. I love it. I
Uh,
really like it.
Okay.
I know what I wanted to say. I
Yeah.
actually purposely chose a version without the titles on it because I felt like in one sense, if you have an image but then you have a title on it and you default to the title,
Yeah.
you get a conflicting message in a way. Even though if you know tarot, you know they go together, but you might be able to read this like an oracle card. If you have trouble with a majors only deck, consider this an oracle
It's
deck with
true.
22 cards with images, and you figure out, what they mean to you. Because I don't want the titles to inhibit your interpretation when you looked at the cards.
I appreciate that, Robin. I hadn't really thought about that too much because there's sometimes when I read, when I have cards that don't have the title on them, I do look I have to, my brain says, what is this card? So I'm trying to put it in that box. So not having the title of it gives me the encouragement to let's look at the image and see how the image is playing with the other images.
Mm.
So
I think
Tony Antoinette is here. Hi, Tony.
Hi,
I
Tony.
think if it had been 78 cards, I wouldn't have done that because you'd be lost trying to figure out
Yes.
what each card was from 78. But
Yeah.
22,
Yeah.
they're so stripped down. And I don't think if you find a card in here that you can't identify what it is, you let me know. I'll be surprised.
There are a couple where I had to look at it and I had to go, what is that? And then I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. I understand. Because the key things are there. And Ben is right now, as we're watching, flipping through the cards to go, can I identify all of them?
And I can actually. I really like it's very close to the RWS, which is fabulous.
Hmm.
But I love it. I think it's so cool. Because I actually really like black and white decks, and I like the fact that it's minimal artwork as well. It's exactly what needs to be. It's not over. It's not busy. And I really like that. It's to the point. I feel.
They
Yeah.
feel to me kind of, if you lay them out all together, they almost look like hieroglyphics or something.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely.
And I like the fact that it's just a blank white card. There's not a lot of extra, like only the minimum message on the card.
Yeah.
Even 2 years later, I'm still finding meanings in these cards. And that's the most exciting thing for me today, that I think you guys may be seeing or finding things in here that I still haven't seen, even though there's not much in them.
I can't find the Emperor because this is the Hierophant.
That's the Emperor.
No, that's the Emperor.
This is the Emperor.
Yeah, you'll see very easily when you find the Hierophant.
That's the Hierophant.
Oh, okay.
That should be really obvious because
that's really obvious because of the keys, yes, and the supplicants.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Because I was sitting here, I was flipping through these, and I'm looking. Well, there's the Empress. Where are they? Anyhow, so, and Tony's like, "Go, Ben, go." Oh, you're reading. Well, good. That's good. Okay. This is when I take a sip because I forgot what I was going to say. How many of you in chat do majors only reading? So how many of you watching this back have done majors only reading? And do you do it? And how often? And how does it impact your readings? I'm curious about that. I'm just like going, because it's new to me. So, but
So,
yeah.
Gerald, just on that, did you learn the cards all together, like when you first learned tarot?
What do you mean? Like,
Because when I learned, I just only learned the majors really to start with, and then the minors afterwards when I kind of understood them better, I suppose. I just wondered whether did you learn majors first then minors, or were you?
I did start with the Fool, and I went to the King of Pentacles
Yeah.
through it. So um that's how I learned it, and I did it within 28 days. So that's where I was really focused. So, and of course it was the Robin Wood Tarot, and a lot of that times she will reference other cards.
Yeah.
So okay. Fran says, sometimes I do it once monthly for self because I want to see where things are really heading for me. And, or she said, sometimes I include a majors only deck to set the big issue or question for a reading. Kaz, I'm still learning and reading books. No majors only spread yet. Tony said, I started only majors, and minors are added as clarification cards afterwards. Okay. And Jane the Seeker Tarot says, I'm teaching a tarot class right now, and we did a majors only and just your intuition. Everybody did so well. I loved all of the readings. And Pamela said, I do majors only readings. I was just revisiting my Fool's Journey reading this morning. It is majors only, 9 cards. Uh, it's always a powerful reading, big message reading. And I do it I just a few times a year, but keep revisiting these readings. Okay. And Tony said, sometimes I will use majors as oracle cards,
Oh, yeah.
White Witch Tarot. And Jake asks, is there a major card that you guys identify with most?
That's a good
Do you have a
question.
majors card that you identify with most?
Hmm.
That's a good question.
In this one, it's probably the Fool for me. But yeah, not usually in a deck. Usually I'm represented by a minor, and a lot of people already know what it is. But yeah, in this one, I'd say,
That's the Three of Wands, isn't it, Robin?
yeah,
I mostly identify in general with the majors, the Fool.
that's the
I
Hermit.
mean, no, the Hermit. Sorry. I'm repeating Robin because it was such a good answer. Mostly with the Hermit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and Beth said, for me, it's Strength and the Hermit. What about you, Ben? Do you
I
have?
don't know. I've never thought about it actually. I've been a bit of a hermit, that's for sure, for a long time, but I've probably come out of that phase now. I would say I can never make my mind up, so I don't know whether that's lovers because it's a choice, you know. There's that. um,
Mhm,
I love my favourite is the star because I always think there's hope. So I'd probably say
mhm.
hope. I always believe in hope.
In general, in a majors deck,
There's the star.
I waffle between the Magician and the Hermit always in the majors.
Uh-huh.
But in this deck, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I like the art on the Fool better.
Mhm. Yeah. Lisa Stevens is here. Hello, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
And Beth said, Ben, your astrological card is the Lovers.
Yes, that's right. It
So,
is.
and Jane agrees with the comment about the star.
Yeah.
So,
And I wanted to say, you recently did a video about direction in the cards.
mm-hmm,
Yes.
I didn't do this consciously, but this one, all the cards are in profile. There are no straight on images.
mm-hmm.
So there's a
Mark would
direction in
love
every
this.
card. What?
Mark would love this deck, Robin, because he loves decks that have different directions.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, and in fact, you're right, this is probably one of the only decks, because he was telling us, wasn't he, Gerald, about
Yeah.
the decks that he's got that have this. And I don't think he said, I don't recollect him saying that any had all facing a different way, like this one. So this is the first actually, Robin, and it's really interesting.
Well, and most of them are facing to the right. There's I mean, it's the Emperor that faces left, or the Moon, depending upon how you want to look at the faces. So, but
and
again,
and the Hangman. I think
and
that's the only.
is it the Hangman?
Yeah.
Boy, it's a lot faster to go through these because the oh yes, you're correct. The Hanged Man, the Hanged One.
The only one you could say maybe is straight on is the Tower, but there's not really a close up in that.
So, the cards you don't resonate with tell you just how much about yourself as the cards that do. Yes. Chris, Elemental Cartomancy is here. Hello, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Glad to have you here.
Chris has this deck too, but he has the ghosted version, which is white on black. I still like this one better, but
so.
Also, I wanted to say a little bit about the name of it, the open face, because I think either this or the Fool were the cards I did, the images I did first, and they have to do with my fascination with, I don't know if you're familiar with Japanese No theater, Noh. It's sort of a theater in mime. Well, I think they do have music and stuff, but they wear these masks, and the masks have no expression on them, sort of like an open face, which couldn't be read as every emotion because it's not a specific emotion.
Oh, yes.
That's what I liked about these images, that it's sort of like they're not angry, they're not happy, they're sort of like in between. And something as simple and open as that, you'd think, well, there's nothing there. But it's like everything can fall out of an open face. You know, there's so much potential for possibilities in interpreting.
I love that. Chris says, yeah, the Ghosted was my favorite by far. So, and yeah, links are below. We're not trying, hashtag purchase responsibly, know your limits. We're not trying to, get you to buy. But anything else you want to say about the card? Because if people would like a reading, a simple mini read, please put it all in caps. Maybe some emojis will help just to get my attention. And there you go.
I just want to jump in. You probably missed it. I heard it again. Ben has ghost bells in his house. Did you ever figure out what that is?
No.
No, Gerald, if you've heard when Ben is on with you guys, these bells in the background. And we've been trying to figure out where it's coming from or what it is.
It's strange.
I don't think it's your studio or Richie's, because I've heard it when Ben is alone on his too. And he has no bells, no cats with bells.
I think it has something to do with his microphone, and he's actually picking up what the orbs are saying and all that stuff. So, and Chris is like going, yes, we are. Do it. Chris says, buy the deck. So, Fran, I have you starred. Thank you. So, if anybody else would like a reading, caps, and of course the readings are for entertainment purposes only. Do not make any decisions based on what we say. Seek professional assistance. Really. And actually in the description I did that, and then I also was like, insert a fan thwarp and
well, there's about 5 or 6 different versions on MPC, and it's not like I'm being mercenary because I'm giving you the cheapest one out of all of them. This is about 8. The others are like somewhere between 16 and 24 or something. So,
Chris, I got you. Jake, I have you. Okay. So Jane has said it's angels, Ben, that we hear.
Oh, really?
And Beth says that someone wants your attention. Ben, pay attention. It's the aliens speaking in the background. So,
That's
so
interesting.
yeah. So, so how do you help me out? How do you go about doing a majors only reading?
Well, I saw Jake just asked for, can I have a card? I suppose you could just draw one card. You might have to have your skills a little bit more refined for one card, because I find that I usually do 3 card spreads with these, and the more cards you have, the easier it is, I think, to read with the
It's the
major.
context.
Or
Yeah.
or at least just the 3 cards. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Bye, Beth. Take care.
Hi, Beth.
And
I mean,
okay. Yeah. And
we
and
could,
by the way, Chris says looking lovely in red, young Benjamin. Did he
Oh.
see what's on your shirt? So,
Thanks, Chris.
okay. So what were you going to say, Robin?
I was going to say, if Ben pulls his shirt up like this, he can actually wear his
Yes. He looks like Super Mario.
or Yosemite Sam.
And
What do
there
I,
is the age difference because Ben's going, who's Yosemite Sam? So, and
Yeah,
bells are angels. So,
Bugs Bunny commercial.
um,
I mean, cartoon.
Ms. Tarot D, wait a minute. Where is that? Okay, I can't. Yeah. And why can I? Ms. Tarot D, how cute, Ben.
oh, wow. I love Miss Tardy. She looks fabulous.
So, there you go. Oh no, I don't know who's Ben and who's Gerald now. Well,
Miss
I mean,
Miss Tarot
we're
is a fellow reader here in the city that I haven't met yet, but we sort of connected through a New York City Facebook tarot group, in the hopes that all the people in the group will finally meet face to face at some point. And then I discovered her channel. I think she's the only tarot
ooh.
drag channel, so check her out.
I am now going to the channel so that I can subscribe. So thank you, Ms. Tarot D. And okay, just click the notifications. So thank you. And Ms. Tarot D said, "We will do lunch soon, Robin."
Good, good.
So yeah, and Chris is all confused. Oh no, I don't know who's Ben and who's Gerald now. So real world problems, people. Okay. So you were saying you like to do 3 cards because it sort of helps give the context.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Jake, I think, said, pull me a card. Well, we could do that. I don't know, as an experiment, I don't know what it would tell us. I don't think it will take us anywhere, but you never know.
Well, what it would do is we could each pull up a card and show it, and then we could read the 3 cards
Yeah,
individually. So,
but I don't,
oh,
yeah, I guess it's all in the intent, whether we intend them to be read together or we intend
yes.
them as one card.
So, thank you, Lisa. Lisa posted Ms. Tarot D's channel. That was nice. So, all right. In the interest of time, because I don't want to keep here everybody, I don't want to keep here everybody for, were you just blowing on your hand, Ben?
I'm sorry. My hands are sweaty for some reason. So, yeah.
Does this happen often, Ben? Is there something you'd like to tell us?
On that note, this deck also is available in a plastic version. But I swear there's something slightly off in the ivory color of the plastic, but I prefer this one.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Oh, and Lisa subscribed. So, and so did Pamela. So, Ms. Tarot D, make sure to get some comment. And Jake Tay said, pull however many cards you want.
Okay.
So, Fran Marley would like a general reading. So, how about I'm going to put this out there, and if the two of you have a slightly different idea, let's each pull. Let's each do 3 cards, and then and then talk about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, okay. Brandy, general reading.
Okay.
Oh, that's not Lisa's link. Or Lisa, that's not. Oh. Uh-oh. Sorry. Whose link was that? Oh, well. Okay. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Okay, so Fran. There's Fran's. And hang on. There's the link. Here it is. There it is. Okay. Robin, would you like to go first?
Actually, I hate to put you on the spot, Gerald, since you're doing all the heavy lifting today, but since you've never done this before, I want you to go first. And
I
then
knew he was going to do that. All right,
if
so
you really don't want to, you don't have to, but I almost
I'm
feel
yanking
like
your chain.
okay.
Ooh, hey. Hello, Brian. Good to see you. Thank you for your email. I will get back to you. So have a wonderful day. And okay, so back to Fran. So, Fran, the first card that I got is the Fool. It is followed by the Tower, and then it is followed by Strength. So
Oh,
for me, this general reading says it's a bit of it is a cautionary tale of when you are foolish, you can have some challenges. However, you can have the strength to be able to get through that. That being said, is sometimes you need to step off so that you can have the change that you need in your world, and you have the strength and perseverance to be able to make that happen. And also, if I look at the strength card, doesn't it sort of look like an adult holding a child, hugging a child? So when you're having some struggles, don't forget to be tender to yourself. So
good.
that's what I got. Fran, any feedback? I'd love it. And Ben, I'm going to put you on the spot next.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Nice.
didn't turn myself sideways. That's pretty good.
Okay, so Fran, thanks for your question. So first card I got was the Star card. So I feel like looking at this as a whole is that we've got a situation which you are hoping to take more control of in some way or influence, but at the moment it's not happening like that. Things are flowing around you, but you're not able to control what's going on around you. That's the current situation, and I sense frustration with something at the moment that you're not able to control. However, the future card, I've got the Emperor here, which tells me that you're going to take more control of this situation. For some reason at the moment, it feels to me that I've got these all the way wrong. Bear with me.
Hi, Oline BD or DB. Good to see you.
That is no, it's there.
They're the other way.
And then there's one. Yeah, there we go. So I feel like you can't control a certain situation at the moment. We've got the Wheel of Fortune, which is like having to roll with this particular situation, but I do sense that you will be able to take some control of it in the future. So although it's not what you hoped for at the moment, there is something coming up where you are going to take control. I hope that makes some sense, Fran. And Robin, sorry, I did notice as I was shuffling the cards, one thing I noticed about the Fool, which I thought was really cool, was that it's almost like he's whistling. Was that intended?
No, but I love it.
Yeah.
That's fun.
See, that's what I want to
That's fun.
find. If you see things in there that I hadn't noticed or
Yeah.
thought of.
Yeah.
And don't put your cards back in the deck yet, guys, because I want
Nope.
us each to be able to comment on each other's.
Yeah.
Now, this is
So,
really fun.
okay. Fran said, loving the cards, def a hug there. And Fran said, resonating.
Decorating.
Yes, and some things out of my control. Yes, Patrice is here. Hello, Patrice. And so, Robin, I'm putting you there so for you to do your reading.
I think it's really funny or interesting that there's some overlap between me and both of your readings.
Yes.
Card-wise, well, what are the odds out of 22 cards, 3 people each pulling 3 cards? You might very well have some same cards. I have starting with the open face card, which for me is very much like a Fool card. It's like the wonder of new adventure. And then in the middle, there's the Tower, and it's sort of like shaking things up, or things are being shaky. You go to have an adventure, and anything could happen. You're basically shaking up the monotony or routine of your life. You're opening yourself up to all kinds of possibilities, and you don't know what might fall out of the trees, so to speak. And then the last one is the Wheel of Fortune, which Ben got too. So I just think it's interesting that there's this element of fate and chance involved in our life's explorations. We set foot out in the world, wide-eyed, eyes wide open, ready to experience things. We don't know what's going to happen, but we're brave enough. Back to that strength card. We're brave enough to spin the wheel and take a chance, regardless of. And I'm finding more and more strength in cards that are negative, like we consider negative, like the Tower and the Three of Swords. I'm finding more positive spins on those cards these days. So
very interesting. Chris is heading out. He's having a spa day, and he said, "I'm heading down to the spa now to have strangers touch me."
Oh, lucky Chris.
There's some stranger things there, right? So.
Yeah.
Jane, I have you.
Said hello.
Jane, I have you marked. They all make sense to me at this time. Lots of changes, and I will just go with the flow. Many, many thanks. You're very welcome. And they're interesting majors, Fran said. So,
Did any of you? I was going to say, I don't know if you were ready to move on or not. I don't know if you had anything to say about each other's.
Well, I was just going to open that up because I think, somebody who is a math whiz could probably figure out what's the probability of somebody pulling the same card with 23 cards, but
they could, but he just went to the spa.
yeah. So, but yeah. So
I think, Robin, as well, I feel that when I'm looking at the faces that I'm picking up a personality in the person, which is interesting. It's almost like that they're either talking to themselves about something. I think it's really interesting. I like it.
Yeah.
I think you have the choice between defaulting to what these cards are labeled as and what the image it says or what is going on there. You can go either way with it.
Well, it's like this one. I would not have necessarily said hug. The Fool needs a hug, but it makes sense visually.
Yeah.
So, okay, I just have to say, Ms. Tarot D says, I want Ben to touch me, LOL, with his psych gifts, that is.
Yeah. I
My
think
goodness.
it's great that the in yours that you're being comforted after the tower. You know, that you're being supplied or encouraged to gather your strength after you've been assaulted by the tower.
Yeah. So, okay, so I have Fran. Let me catch up with chat. What is that card? Ooh, that's the strength card. I started to mix them, but I can quickly find the strength card. This is strength, Jane. Ooh, speaking of somebody with strength, hi Kelly, good to see you.
Hey, Kelly.
So, and okay, Chris said he is actually going to skip his question. So Jake is next. So can I have a card? Stay home, do the live, elbow cough. Thanks, Doc. Oh, okay. So,
So we
yeah.
got the 3 or just the 1?
Let's do the 3. Let's just do the 3.
Yeah.
Because we're all doing that. So, Ren is here. Did I see Ren? Ren, hello, just in from the grocery. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. So, I love seeing Robin's open face deck being featured. Yes, me too, Patrice.
Yeah.
And love. This is such a wonderful group of people. Thank you, Robin, for inviting me. Well, Robin, good for you. So, for inviting Ms. Tarot D.
Yeah.
Oh, I've dropped some.
Uh-oh.
I'm
Here,
developing a possible drag character as well. And so
we're all watching Ben.
At some point, maybe we will all go on with Miss Tarot D in drag. That could be fun.
Well, Miss Tarot Sachet might be available, but she is
Exactly.
rather elusive these days.
Yeah.
So, there's a message from Kelly. Gerlod and Ben, check your email when you have a chance. Yes. Yes. So, okay. So this is for Jake Tay. We are going to, I hope I'm saying that right. Yeah, and Jane's like, I would love that, having all of us, the J. Well, Ben is working on a tarot drag persona. So,
Watch this.
I mean, y'all need it. So
I've got one and I've got a name. I just don't have the voice yet.
The voice is always hard.
Oh, Pamela's like, I've only heard about Tarot Sachet. I've never met her.
Yeah.
So, there's time. Okay, so we're pulling. We're doing a reading for Jake. So you can pull 3 cards if you want. Are you all done, Robin?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put you in there. I'll have you go first.
My mind is at a blank right now over this reading. I think it will develop, but what I found most curious is the 3 that I pulled are near the end of the deck. So we've got the world, oh no, I'm sorry. I saw that moon. I thought that's the moon. It's not. It's the high priestess.
High priestess, yes.
Forget what I just said. They're not all at the end of the deck. 2 of them are, though, judgment and the world. So, let me look at this. I was looking.
Ms. Tarot D said, LMAO. Oh, darlings, what a good time. Pop those fans. Well, of course. And some of us even have a tarot fan. Ooh.
I can't remember. I think Miss Tarot D has a fan, but she has the most fabulous prop. She has a gigantic magnifying glass. And
I love that.
Watch her using that to see the images.
She's got 2 fans now, me and Gerald.
Boom. And Connie B is here, and Robin Jane said, Robin, I bet they all connect with Ben and Gerald's cards.
Yeah, we'll see.
So, okay.
For me, the High Priestess is the study card, and giggle, she's unrolling a roll of toilet paper. No, that's that's the scroll, the study scroll, and a crystal ball there. So we have at the beginning the world, then the High Priestess, then the Judgment. For me, those three, I mean, a lot of times these read sort of like a rebus for me. You know, it's sort of like go out in the world, study, take your studies with you, and make a judgment call about what you've learned. So, or it could be a wake up call, you know, like toot toot, get up and get out of bed, get out of doors, discover things, study the world around you. You know, jump through a few hoops to get yourself out there. And oops, these are hard to do backwards, aren't they?
Yes.
I think probably the one I'm a little bit most puzzled by is the High Priestess being in the center. But for me, I always read 3 card spreads or any spread from the center out, and I usually focus in as the character in question being that center card. And who was this for? Jane? Or
Jake.
And I'm assuming that most people in the chat here are tarot students. So this is definitely a tarot student in the center of this 3-card spread. But I think it's sort of like, you know, the judgment call could be reading the tarot, deciphering the images and the meanings, and taking that out into the world, spreading it, sharing it with the world.
Yeah. And okay, so Ms. Tarot D said because I can't see Robin is why she has the magnifying glass. And I'm going to put everybody this way. This is from Enlighten on Etsy. I think it's Enlighten Clothing. And so just catching up on chat. I have to say, I love, Jane says, I love your High Priestess. So loving, oh, and Kelly's loving the colors of the shirts, gentlemen. Well, you know. And Jake said, yeah, I'm a tarot reader. That's all makes sense. Oh, I love it. You know, selling fast, only 7 left, and over 20 people have it in their baskets. So Jake is loving the deck.
And they're all subscribed to you, Gerald.
Yeah, probably. And everybody know your limits, purchase responsibly. So if you when you buy the deck, as Chris would say, links are below to that and the flip throughs. Ben, I'm going to put you in the hot seat next. Boom, there you go.
Right. Okay, I've got to get the right way this time. So,
and by the way, Connie B said, I like how you called us tarot students, Robin. So
that's what we are.
Yes, we are.
Tarot's an unending study. It's a student for life.
So I found this really interesting. So hi, Jake. So I got this card first, which is the Hermit, and I thought this was really interesting because I feel like there's a situation that's coming up that you've been taking a stand back from. But I feel with the middle card is that you're getting closer to this particular situation. But is there something that you've been trying to avoid? And it always feels like, although we have the Tower card here, it's a situation that's perhaps coming up that might be slightly quite a big change, possibly, that might affect some areas of your life. And I feel like with this first card, we've been standing back from it, but I almost feel at the moment you're kind of ready to face whatever changes are coming up here. And with it being a Tower card, I do like to pull another card just to see what else we get after the Tower, if that's okay, guys. Sorry. I know we're in
no, it's not, Ben. You're not allowed.
I'm doing it anyway. and we've got the moon. So there's a lot of reflection here. So it almost feels
That's
like
the High Priestess.
sorry, the High Priestess. I did mean that. I was looking at the moon. Same as you, Robin. But yeah, I was thinking of that inner, reflectiveness of the High Priestess. Is like whatever change is coming up, Jake. I feel like it's something that's probably needs to happen, and it's some sort of calling to, that it's the right thing. It feels. I don't know where I'm going with that, but I feel like you're going to have a period of reflection from the change, if that makes sense. But yeah, hopefully that resonates.
Robin wants to add something to that.
Yeah. Ben, I think it's telling that both of us today mistook that card at a moment for the moon. I think that means that the moon is relevant to our readings in that card, because there are so few symbols there. Why would we both zoom in on the moon when we got to that card rather than just going to High Priestess? Because the two pillars are there. It's clear it's a High Priestess, but we see the moon, and that's part of the reading, I think. And
can I say, Robin, what I love about this is that with Jake's thanks, Jake. I'm glad it makes sense. I love here that we've got the past and the present, and they're both looking towards the future here. Yeah, I love that. I think that's so glad, and this is why I really love directional people in cards, because to me it's clear that we're getting closer to this point here. We're getting, and that really stood out for me.
I also like in yours that we're shining a light on something. We're looking at something. That first card is the Hermit holding up a lantern in the direction of, of that tower. And it almost zooms in from the Hermit's lantern to the Hermit's face. And then we get closer and closer. And what we're looking at is something in that tower moment.
Yeah.
I
I'm sorry, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying though, Robin, definitely. And I love that.
The struggle is real.
Mess that up.
Yeah. The struggle is real. Yeah, because you actually have to lay them down and then you pick them up and then you flip them. Yeah. And Jane the Seeker said, "Oh, look, Roman is here in spirit behind Ben."
She is.
So, Calla Lizzie is here. Hello, Calla Lizzie.
Hi, Calla.
And okay, so I am up, so I'm going to embiggen myself. So the first card that I got for you, Jake, is Temperance. And I think the key thing with Temperance is you have been trying to blend things, make things work for you. And what is also a bit telling for me is that water. Could that be sound? Could it be singing? Could it be music? Could it be something that you are you're blending together different things? And then I have the Devil, which in the process of blending things together, some unexpected things come up. It's like when you're doing alchemy, you can plan everything as best as you can, but then suddenly a third element is created or a third aspect of it. And then the last card that I have is the Empress. Wow. And so when you think about that, with the Empress, so we have Temperance trying to make things together, and if creating a child isn't alchemy, I do not know what is.
Yeah.
And then being able to, when things that are about to come to fruition, all of our dreams come true, and sometimes even the things that we weren't necessarily thinking about show up. And then the Empress is all about taking that and nurturing it through to completion. So
yeah, keep holding it up.
Okay.
I love that. The energy that brings us together can also separate us. If
yes,
there ever was a unwanted maybe pregnancy card, this sort of looks like that could be it. Look at that energy flowing between those two vessels.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got the two figures succumbing to temptation, standing separately from one another in the palms of the devil's hand. And then you have this baby inside the belly in the
Yeah.
Empress, sort of
Yeah.
like what has come of this situation, this energy between these two people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Jake, I hope that gives you some insight. I want to get caught up on chat. Connie B, I have your question starred, and that will be the last question. So questions are closed. And Jane asked, these are open face with the small box. I
Yes.
have them in my cart.
Okay. Make
Yes,
sure
these
you've
are
got,
the open face with the small box.
it doesn't come with a box. You have to buy that separately. They wouldn't let me bundle it, but I think it's $1.99 for the box. Just make sure you get the bridge size one, because I think they have a poker size one too. So double check the measurements on that.
Okay. Ooh, I got a package.
Ooh.
Ooh, sorry. Okay. So these are the box is separate, correct, Robin?
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you. All right. So
it wasn't.
um,
Nothing I could do about it.
Kelly has to go. Bye, Kelly. Connie B has never thought of pregnancy as alchemical or alchemy. It makes sense. Yep. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it. All resonated. Good. Oh, Ms. Tarot D, good for you, girl. Use it for all of the right reasons. It always helps to make a point. And remember that, Jane the Seeker. I'm still learning, yes. And okay, so I've probably missed some people. And then we will go. I want to go back up to Jake. You got it. Jane the Seeker. Guidance from you, just an overall general, like, hey, what's going on?
Okay.
Hey, girl. Hey, queen. We got this. So, so this is for Jane the Seeker. These are Robin's cards, Oline. They are the Open Face Tarot. Hashtag purchase responsibly. Hashtag know your limits. And links are below if you're curious about them. Because he also, Robin, and and I really appreciate it when creators go through and talk about their cards, because one of the things that I linked was it was the meaning or the guidebook where you talk about them. So it's great. So all right. So are you ready, Robin?
Yeah, I also wanted to say something that we didn't do that we might do some other time. Gerald and I both have, I have other decks, and one of the other decks is a Lenormand called Little Norman's Lenormand. And people have been talking lately about adding additional cards to clarify your spread. And I thought it might be fun to do a 3-card of the open face with a 1-card clarifier from the Little Norman. But we can do that another time. I just wanted to
Okay.
mention. So I
And
have.
by the way, Ms. Tarot D said, Jane the Seeker, I just subscribed to your channel. Can't wait to watch some of your videos. And by the way, Ms. Tarot D, I am with her on Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And Jane said these would be nice with that, with the Lenormand. And apparently Kaz has said the Tarot Bamboo Parasol is new in that Etsy store. So, all right, I'm putting you in the hot spot, Robin. There you go.
Isn't it great, all this cross pollination?
Love
Everybody
it.
jumping and joining everybody else's channel. Isn't that
Yep.
fantastic? Okay, so I have the Fool, the Emperor, and Justice. I think I have the only walking Justice in the tarot deck. Sort of very cautiously walking along, but so hard for me to think about these backwards. Oh no, I guess I'm seeing them forward. Um, so it's interesting to me that we have the Emperor and the Fool in opposite directions. I usually feel like this is the Fool being retrospect, or no, that's introspect, but looking backwards on his achievement because he's looking back. And, and I always think the most important aspect of the Fool card is that throne that he's sitting on. It's sort of like not exactly complacency, it's almost stubbornness, like I'm not getting up off this chair. We have this combination of the Fool wanting to venture out, wanting to take that step off the cliff to something new, countered with sort of a blockage almost of the Emperor not wanting to go any damn place. I don't know if this has to do with things that you're considering doing right now in your life. It seems like you're looking for a little bit of adventure, but something may be keeping you. You may be stubborn. Something may be keeping you from taking that first step. And then we have the Justice card, which
Jane
is
said, "This is me and my husband."
okay. Oh, one of them's wanting to do something, the other doesn't want to do something. And there's cautious steps being taken to weigh things out or to balance the situation out between the other two cards. So that's kind of perfect. I'm glad you told us it's you and your husband, because there's a dynamic there between the two cards and a solution in the third card, but it's, sort of a one of diplomacy, I would guess,
Mm-hmm. And to answer Ms. D's, Ms. Tara D, yes. Ben does have a channel, and Ben was invited briefly, quickly this morning. So that's why that link is not there yet. So I just put it in there. So it's a wonderful conceptualization, Robin. Walking justice and sitting Fool. I really love that. And she said you were spot on, Robin. Jane the Seeker. So,
Great.
There's Ben's channel. I will link Ben's channel below after we're live, because I didn't think to do that earlier. I was actually watching. I was watching Jane the Seeker this morning instead of doing other stuff like being a good host. So I'm going to put myself in the hot seat. And there we go. Okay, so Jane, this is what we got. I'm going to put this up. All right. So if you have time, may I get guidance for just an overall general? I got the Chariot. So this is a card about keeping focused and making sure of the options that you have, in which direction you're going to go. Because this Chariot can't go in both directions because it would split. So that's something to keep in mind. And then I got the Devil. Could this be you and your husband as well? Battling things out, seeing things, hashtag for entertainment purposes only, bringing out the best and the worst in each other. I don't know. I don't know you that well and your husband. But what's interesting is when you look at the Chariot, we have two paths, but then we have two people being overseen by the Devil. But whatever choice you make, it ends with the Star, and so it ends up working out. I like to think of this card as it's my universal blessing card. The universe wants you to be very successful, and so whatever is going on, it will be successful, because it has the well, it's just the universal blessing is how I can say it. But so there you go. I hope that makes some sense to you.
Hold on to those, if I may. The the chariot, what jumps out at me is the element of there are two elements in each card in a way. In the chariot, you've got a chariot with two wonky wheels. One's going one direction, the other's going the other direction. You've got two arrows, two paths going two different directions. And it's sort of like the figure is leaning forward and the car is leaning back. It's like you're kind of at odds with which direction to go. The second one, of course, you've got the two horns on the devil, the two figures in the hand. The third one doesn't look like two, but you've got that thing of the star above and spilled liquid below. And that looks to me like don't cry over spilt milk, you know, disagreement or your temptation to disagree with your husband or your partner, because there's hope, there's a star above. Don't focus on the milk you're spilling. Remember that there's a way out of this.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay, yes. Patrice loves the chariot. Jane is loving this so much. Yeah, Jane does so many readings for people. She doesn't often get readings. Micah is here, and Micah says, I would want to color that deck. I don't know if I could restrain myself.
Okay.
All these cards are me and my husband, and Jane loves that wisdom, Robin. I can really see Robin's brilliance and originality in this deck.
Yeah.
Nice reading to receive, yes. And Ms. Tarot D has subscribed to Mustache Ben from Beneficial Tarot. Ben, I'm going to put you in the hot seat, and then I'm going to step away for a moment.
No problem. Hi Jane. So I hope I've got this in the right order. Yes, I have. So this was the first card, and Robin, I'm loving this extra card. It's popping up a few times. I really feel like it's when someone's looking forward. So this is in the past thing, but I feel, Jane, we've been looking at I feel some sort of project that you've had going on, which has now come to completion with that middle card. So something that's been going on in your life has finally come to completion recently. And then obviously the future card here, we have the death card. Now, to me, it feels like something's completed, which means there's been some ending to something. But I see it as a positive in that whilst something's completed, it's left room now for the rebirth of something else, which is where the death card comes in. So I feel like we're on to new projects or new things. So I don't know whether this is related to any practice that you're doing, but something's come to completion, which has left open the door for new things to start coming through. Again, what I love about this deck is the direction. So we're moving forward here. They're all looking to the future, these cards, which I really, really love that. I'm really loving the directions, Robin, I have to say. It's really resonating with me, this is.
Yeah.
So, Jane, I hope that makes sense to you.
Hold in there a sec. I want to jump in.
Go for it.
I love the way you read it, and this looks like a parade to me. And I never read the death card as parade, but look, he's like, you know, the one in the middle, I get drumsticks and a drum head. So it's like the drummer in the parade. The first card is sort of like an inquisitive face, you know, somebody open to the idea of something new and fun. Like you said, they've jumped through the ring. They've completed their project. You get the completion through the death card, and he's almost waving a banner to the drum being beat in celebration in the parade. And it doesn't feel like a sad ending. It's like,
no,
it's at the start of the parade, but it's the beginning of what comes next. It's all following him, and you know, it opens the way for new projects. Absolutely.
And Jane said, makes a lot of sense, Ben.
Oh, thanks, Jane.
Again, spot on. Yes, Robin. And it does look like a parade. Connie B has subscribed to Ben and Robin's channel. And Ms. Tarot D says, love collective readings. This is so powerful. So, and so that's great. Gosh. Yeah, Jane's like, wow. So we have Connie B is our last question. Connie B would like a reading for the week. So, and Connie B, for the week. Yeah, they are lovely readings, Fran. Thank you. Aw,
Oh,
love you back.
yeah, I love you too, Jane.
Everybody like and subscribe to Jane's channel so that you can see me on there on Tuesday. So I've got my happy dance, happy feet and hand dancing. Yay. Oh, happy feet and hand dancing. You know, tune in. Are you ready, Robin, for Connie B?
Connie B.
Tell me whoever is ready.
I guess I'm ready. I have the High Priestess, the Open Face, and the World. Here you are, being inquisitive. Here you are studying. Here you are taking what you've learned out into the world. It's as simple as that.
Wow. Okay. Robin, Ben, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
God, I'm just trying to think how I get these up. There we go. So I have the Fool first. So I feel like we're on a new adventure this week. We've got everything ahead of us. It's great. I feel here. So I've picked the Devil card. I feel like this could be representing two people, perhaps yourself and somebody else. And I feel like there's maybe there's a bit of tittle tattle between the two of them. And in order to kind of resolve things, there's going to be a need to kind of create a balance. So it feels like, we've got this great energy of moving forward in the week, but then there's this just a little thing with these two characters here. I feel like there might need to be some kind of balance between the two.
And you said character, and Connie B said, I'm a writer and am trying to get into the groove to edit my manuscript.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
And you said characters.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. Yeah, that's interesting. Getting the right balance between the characters. Interesting you say it's a writer, because I feel that's like something exciting, new, fresh idea. It's at the beginning, so that's interesting. And yeah, it's getting the right balance between perhaps the characters then. Maybe that makes sense, kind of.
Ben, don't put those away, because the first card I got is the Fool.
Ah.
The second card I got is the Devil.
Oh, wow.
And the third card that I got is the Hermit. So Connie B, what's going on for the week? Let me do it this way. What's going on for the week is you got to just show up. You got to deal with the devils that you know, and the devils, the devil that you know, and weigh things out carefully. And as you go forward, follow the light. Are you a person who works better at night? Because maybe that's you need to keep that in mind. But it feels like, the Fool, the Devil, and then the Hermit. Is the Fool, it's just go ahead and take the leap. And most writers talk about how they discover something about themselves, and it's a bit of a struggle. And they see sides that they didn't want to see. And it's the Hermit that actually is going to shine some light on that. So I am just like, and so Ben, I was like going, wait a minute, we have the first two cards are the same. Yeah, I'm like going, what? So
you know what, Gerald? The first two cards being the same is really strong and significant. But what I'm curious about is this is almost like one of those Venn diagrams what is interesting about the two leftovers being paired, the Hermit and the Temperance card, how might they weigh into a specific message for her
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the writing?
Yeah.
Seeking maybe and measuring, weighing things out, editing. That could be the
Editing is,
process.
editing is really very important.
Yeah.
Connie B has said, I need to tighten up the character part of the manuscript, the middle. And it's like, oh, wow. And Tara D is like, oh, wow. And it's like, I've cooped up because of the heat. And Connie B understands what I'm saying. So, and
These are
Kaz said, good pickup, Robin. Yes.
really powerful readings these have today, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've really synced with the readings, and it's interesting that they're very powerful readings and they're with Major Arcana cards. So I wonder whether there's more magic there, if you know what I mean, because it's like we're just reading simply with the major life event cards, aren't we? Which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's really
And Connie B said, yes, it's 29 chapters. It has taken me
wow.
25 years to get this far. Well, good for
That's
you. And
Yeah.
now you have to cope with that the demon inside of you, like Robin was talking about when we first, it's like you were going, well, I have these 22 cards. Do I want to do the rest of them, or do I just want to go ahead and put it out there? So it's like,
And I think that Hermit is shining a light on the end of the project. And you need that time alone as a hermit to finish
mhm,
the project. But you
mhm,
can see what's ahead. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel. You can see the end
yes.
of the project.
Connie B said the demon is laziness. Bleh.
Mm.
Yeah. Um, and Ms. Tarot D said, congratulations, Connie. Keep up the good work. You got this, girl. Actually, it would probably be, you got this, girl. Uh-huh. So nice perspective light at the end of the project. It's called The Ghost of the Red Sands.
Mm.
And okay, so Jane the Secret has said, help me, anyone. I'm trying to order the deck and I can't find the drop down menu for the box.
You have to go in the menu to, there's a whole separate menu for boxes and containers. And you go in there and they give you, cardboard boxes, plastic, whatever. You'll find it in there. Maybe I can find the link and add it in the comments of Gerald's thing afterwards.
Yes, or yeah. And the thing about make playing cards is when you have to create an account, and if you're wanting to hold things in there, you've got to do that. It's really sort of crazy. So it's but I always have to log in. I have to log in before I do anything so that I can make it work. Jane says, okay, thank you, Robin. So, wow. Thank you everybody for joining. Thumbs up, smash the like, subscribe to everybody's channel. Ben's information will be below here in a little bit. Great to meet some new friends.
Yeah.
And Pamela said, actually, Jane, when you go to checkout, it asks if you want a box for your order. Sometimes it'll do that, yes. So, but yeah. Ben, any last thoughts
No,
on
I'm
the open face tarot?
I found it very powerful for a first time reading, so I've really enjoyed it, and I love the directional thing, the extra card. I've really enjoyed this, guys, I have to say, and the readings have been so much fun to do this with. So, Robin, thank you so much. It's such a lovely gift, and
Yes.
I can't tell you how I will treasure this. So, I'm going to read with this again, definitely.
I wanted to ask you, because I didn't bring it up, do either of you have any issue with the fact that it's not gender specific, that there's no gender involved in the deck? It's just, I don't know whether you read it as male or not, or
I like the fact that you can read it as either, really, to me. It doesn't, you know, it's neither male nor
Yeah.
female. It's just it's
So,
Yeah.
isn't
some
it?
people say it's me.
I did.
Oh.
Some people say it's a ghost. Some
I
say
see
it's
you.
an alien, and some say it's a baby. And it could be any. I kind of like the baby or the ghost thing. It's like we all have souls, but the souls aren't male or female. So it's almost to me like a soul figure or something.
Yes.
I see
So
you in the picture.
Jane,
Rob.
yeah, Jane the Seeker said, "I love that there are no genders." And Ms. Tara D, I love the gender fluidity, and that's what makes it fit. So, and Connie B said, "Thank you so much. Appreciate your valuable insight." So you're welcome. And some of my readers do not identify with either gender, so it's very progressive. There you go.
Thank you.
And we got a nice compliment from it was from Ms. Taro D said this was really so much fun. Can't wait to attend more sessions. Well, Ms. Taro D, if you want to be on, you could be part of the readings.
Yeah.
There's an email, and maybe I'll actually get back to the email because I'm so good at that. So, but yeah, so all right. So thank you both. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for those who are watching back. I do appreciate it. Robin, thank you for being willing to for joining and stepping up for this.
Thank you so much for doing this and taking care of all the stuff I have trouble with. And Ben, thank you for being here. And isn't it great that that we found things in this deck together and that the deck arrived in the mail for you today so that
I
we could
know.
do
I
this.
love that.
It
I
was
love
meant to
that.
be,
So
Robin. Definitely.
yes.
So
So
strange that was.
and Robin, thank you for inviting Ms. Taro D. And thank you, Fran. It was lovely. Connie B, thank you. And thank you. This has been great. So absolutely wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You two hang out and everyone take care. Thank you. You've all been great. Love it. So bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.